Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show. I really enjoyed spending time with my friend Cynthia Walker. Look, she is a really, really, really smart woman. And she has tremendous experience in the nonprofit community, not only here in coastal Mississippi, but also in South Carolina. And what a great match for her to be involved in the Train Museum, knowing her skill set and what she brings to the table. And what they've been able to accomplish over the past a little over 2 years is truly remarkable. Wow. And my friend Dave Dennis was one of the key contractors there, and to see his commitment, he mentioned it last week. It's awesome to see friends that are engaged in the community in the way that they are. To see Richard and Glenn Mueller do what they're doing, it's pretty awesome stuff. Hey, listen, so we've got some hurricanes percolating out in what they call the main development region. I'll have Josh Morganman on soon, the top hurricane chaser in the country, who lives in L.A. but is also building a house in Bay St. Louis. In fact, we're having dinner tonight, and I'm looking forward to spending some time with Josh. But he's got a reality TV show. He's on multiple networks talking about his hurricane chase. He's got, if there were a Guinness Book of World Records, he'd get it for the number of times he's been inside a eye of a hurricane, and he's the man when it comes to knowing about this. But when we talk about hurricanes in coastal Mississippi, a lot of us are thinking about how can we stay sort of self-sufficient in the wake of a storm. It's not just hurricanes, really. It's the kind of weather we're having right now. Lots of thunder strikes and powers out all over the place. This is the time of year where if you're in the generation power business, you're a very busy guy. And SuperTalk actually has a relationship with Taylor Power Systems, and I've invited Kevin Reddy, who's the general manager of a subsidiary of Taylor Power System, Taylor Sudden Service, to join me and just talk about the weird weather we're having and the role that generators can play in keeping people sustaining and so on. Before we go any further, let me just welcome Kevin to the show. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great, Ricky. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, you mentioned you're sitting at your office in Mobile. You guys have a pretty big footprint, don't you?
We do. We have 34 locations across 13 states. We cover the coastline from Texas down to Miami, all the way back up to Virginia. So when hurricanes come in, we've got those areas covered.
You got a lot of responsibilities. Tell me about what it is you do.
I'm actually over the power service. I'm the power manager for Sudden Service. So we're the service arm for Taylor Power Systems. The generators that they build, we maintain, and we keep them up through the life of that generator.
Goodness gracious, big responsibility. Listen, I mentioned before we started the show that after Hurricane Katrina, when we eventually sold the house that we lived in, that we experienced Katrina in, and bought the lot next door and built the house here. One of the main things we wanted to do is build way above the flood requirements. We went to gold standard on our house. We wanted it to withstand over 150-mile-an-hour winds. That helped with insurance, I might add. And we also wanted the generator. We wanted the ability to, if the power goes out, we want the generator to continue to keep this place going. It's one of the biggest and most important decisions we ever made. But, man, when you have the kind of weird weather we're having right now, I saw yesterday where the number of lightning strikes in a very short period of time was in the thousands, and You've got thousands of people without power. It's a busy time for you guys. It's actually quite unusual in this time of year to have this many challenges simultaneously, isn't it?
It is. It's almost like dealing with a hurricane type situation. We had so many calls coming in, so many people without power. So what we do in that situation, we bring in extra technicians, extra equipment to help with that overflow of calls so we can take care of our customers, but also pick up the extra calls that are coming in.
Yeah. So are there companies that actually, or is it you guys do it yourself, but are there companies that literally provide the kind of services you need so that you have the ability to ramp up fast?
We provide all those services ourselves. We carry a line of rental generators, rental light towers. We have an emergency response team. We have 5 different teams. So anytime there's an event, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's an ice storm, tornadoes, we bring in the personnel and, we take care of it all ourselves in-house.
Wow, that's incredible that you built up the capacity. So when you've got the kind of footprint you've got, I think of Mississippi Power and Southern Company Services and other power companies, the way they work together, the way they go to the disaster. You have the footprint and the built-in capacity capacity that enables you to do exactly the same thing, to just corral your people to where the need's going to be. And in this case, the need's kind of pretty far-fetched, isn't it?
It is. We have to be prepared. We have our teams on call. We track the storms just like anyone else, and then we try to plan accordingly. And we've got 260 technicians overall. We have 100 technicians that are power focused. So we have plenty of manpower and equipment to go to those affected areas and still be able to take care of our customers back home.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I would think that people along the coast who can afford a generator, the concept of a generator is not anything new. I mean, a lot of people hope to have one. Many people have them. The technology has come a long way. That's the thing that's so interesting. The automatic switching capabilities that have become part of those generators over the last few years. But there's always the need to consider whether it's a business or whether it's a residential. There's a lot of demand, isn't there?
There is a lot of demand, and Taylor Power Systems, let me tell you a little bit about Taylor Power. They manufacture industrial and commercial generators made in Mississippi by Mississippians in Clinton. And they carry a line of generators from 12 kW stationary up to 1,000 kW diesel. And they carry 12 kW up to 800 kW natural gas. They also carry a mobile line of generators from 25 kW up to 1,000 kW. These generators are very important when it comes to emergency response. They can be moved around, pulled in and out of different places where they need to be. And you talked about some customers can't afford a generator right now. Well, the rental option from Taylor Sudden Service is the way to go there, because we can provide you that need when you need it and then pick it up and bring it back after, all clear,
Wow. So again, the ability to ramp up when there's going to be a need is very significant. I'm thinking about, you said the Gulf Coast of Florida, you guys were involved. So you've seen a bunch of hurricanes, not just here in coastal Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
Across all the way around to Texas. You're not new to the notion of need and recovery, are you?
No, sir, we are not. We have been doing this for a long time, and we've gotten pretty good at it. Each disaster is different. You kind of have to adapt and then overcome whatever obstacles you find out there. But we have a great team, and everybody comes in and gives it their all to make us successful.
What I've learned, Kevin, from having owned a generator now for several years, that the key is, if you just got to maintain it, you got to do your maintenance on it. You got to do the checkups on it.
That is the key. It doesn't matter what brand of generator you have out there. If you set it there and you don't do preventative maintenance on it, it will not perform properly when called on. So what we like to do is set our customers up on a preventative maintenance agreement. There's 2 visits a year. We'll come out and do a PM, which is the oil change, filters, things of that nature. And then 6 months later, we'll come out and do a 41-point inspection just to make sure this generator is operating like it's supposed to. And then when the storm hits and that generator's called on, it'll perform.
So important, man, because I've found in my maintenance program that the smallest little things can make the biggest difference. And my wife Ann and I often thought, gosh, if we had not had them come in, where would we be now? We'd be thinking that everything's fine.
Exactly.
And then suddenly the lightning strikes and we're not fine. It's actually really important to us, to be honest with you, because my mother is on oxygen. She's not at the house, but she could have a need to come here. And my wife's mother is also on oxygen. And you see many situations where there are families that have various medical requirements that need power, and so it's critical that their generators perform adequately and on time, right?
It is critical, and when customers have a PM contract with us, they become a priority. In any life safety situation, whether it's nursing home, hospitals, customers that are on oxygen, they go to the top of the list. And so when these storms hit, we start getting hundreds and hundreds of calls, and there's so much overflow and chaos. So those life safety situations are what we take care of first. And then the customers that have an agreement with us, they go to the top of the list as priority.
Yeah. So you mentioned a wide range of of capacity for generators that you could put on site. I was the operation before I became president of the Sun Herald. Along the way, I was an operations director, and we had our own generator there as well. But we never said that we're going to, we're fine, because once literally a leaf, got into the right apparatus on the generator and shut us down for a period of time. So we always had standby rental generators ready to go. But the ability to help businesses stay open, and especially businesses that are critical to recovery. Yeah. I understand the logistics that have to be in place to give you the ability to put the firepower where you need it, when you need it. That's not something you just develop overnight. I mean, it is a well-planned oil machine, isn't it?
It is. It takes time. And when it comes to logistics, we have our own in-house Taylor logistics team that helps us plan and route all of these moving parts from state to state, and it keeps us on top of things.
We're talking with Kevin Reddy. He's actually the general power manager for Taylor Sudden Services, which is a subsidiary of Taylor Power Systems. Hey, when we come back from the other side, we'll just kind of talk about preparations for the storm, et cetera, if we ever were to get hit by the big one. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show. You think about, the aftermaths of storms, and unfortunately, or actually fortunately, the power systems of coastal Mississippi through Coastal Electric or Singing River Electric or Mississippi Power and across the state are pretty reliable. But boy, lightning can wreak havoc, and we all know, we're all too familiar with what can be the aftermath of hurricanes and tornadoes, unfortunately. And that's just the way it is. So there are going to be moments when you need generators, and there are going to be moments when you need emergency power. And a lot of folks think about this. Businesses think about redundancy in the power operations all the time. But I'm thrilled to be joined by Kevin Reddy, who's the general power manager for Taylor Sudden Service, which is actually a subsidiary of Taylor Power Systems that's doing business in multiple states. And it's a proud Mississippi company, isn't it,
Kevin? It's a
Kevin?
very proud Mississippi company.
So tell me a little bit more about the commitment to Mississippi, about starting in Mississippi, et cetera.
Yeah, our corporate office is in Louisville, Mississippi. And like I said, Taylor Power's office is in Clinton, Mississippi. And that's our core. That's where we started, and we've kind of spread from there. But one great thing about it, the company values that were started in Louisville, Mississippi, we've been able to spread that and maintain that out to 34 locations. And our company culture is what makes us who we are. And to lose that would it would be horrible, but we're not losing it. It's spreading across our footprint.
Well, I have Robert Taylor, the principal of your company, is someone I've heard his name many, many times throughout my career as a community leader in the outdoors community. I've heard his name mentioned many times. But, I talk about that on this show a lot, that company culture is the thing that usually enables you to stand the test of time, and you got to build that in. It usually comes from promoting with people from within and bringing people from the outside for sure, but teaching them what are the core values of the company. And it seems that Taylor Power Systems has done a great job of building a core value that has done a wonderful job of standing the test of time, and you've been able to experience that, haven't you?
I have been able to experience that. That value and that culture started building in 1927, and the Taylor family has continued to build that. We're 4 generations into Taylor leadership right now. Davis Taylor is our director of Sudden Service. Zach Taylor is the general manager of Taylor Power Systems. And they both have those core values that were started back in 1927. And it, like I said, it's spread all through our footprint. We treat our employees like we do our customers, and we're all family. We have more people here at this company. It seems like every time I'm in Louisville, there's someone having a 50th year retirement party. So the people come here to retire. We don't have a whole lot of turnover.
Well, Kevin, what's interesting about that is that in the world that we're in today of instant gratification and no one's loyal to the companies that they work for, generally that's the case. There are still lots of exceptions, lots of wonderful exceptions. I would say that Taylor Power Systems is an example of an exception to the rule, where people come there because they're getting good benefits or have a great company culture. The people who have the opportunity to move up in the company, to learn different kinds of jobs, to make a good wage, to make a contribution to the community. There are a lot of reasons why people go to work for a company and stay there through their career. But the fact that you can go to Louisville and see people being celebrated for 50 years of service is an indication that you've built a company that people want to stay with, that they don't have an interest in coming there for a few days or couple of years and then leaving. They want to stay there. And that's what building a great company is all about. It's good to see a Mississippi company do this in the way that you're doing it. Hey, so look, if someone was interested in buying a generator, maybe not even a Taylor Power Systems generator, but what's the kind of thing that ought to be going through their head?
Well, Taylor Power also offers a line of residential generators, Briggs & Stratton, from 12 kW, 20, 26, 30, and 48 kW.
Yeah.
So we have that residential line and also have that commercial and industrial line. So you're looking for a generator that's big enough to cover the power your house is needing. So our guys will come out, we'll figure out what your peak demand is and what size generator you do need, and we'll size a generator for your house or your business for what your needs are. So you call Taylor Power, you call Taylor Sudden Service, we give a full white glove service. We'll come out, and you have a power need, and we're going to take care of it.
Hey, what we have here is natural gas, and we could, as long as we're getting natural gas at our house, we could run for as long as we need to run. I'm amazed that generators. How long can a generator run if you needed a generator? Because my sense is it could just run forever as long as it's maintained.
If it's properly maintained, you will get years and years out of that generator. If it's not properly maintained, it will fail on you. So once again, we go back to preventative maintenance. That's the most important part about any piece of equipment, and that's what we provide at Taylor Sudden Service.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Kevin Reddy, and we'll talk more. In fact, maybe one day I'll have to run up the organization and talk to some of your key folks and about how did they build this company culture that has stood the test of time. But anyway, Kevin is the general power manager for Taylor Sudden Service. It's been a pleasure to visit with you, my friend.
Been a pleasure.
You bet. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.